Hey harmonizers, it's time to take the bridle off of Bunny. So this is Katie with Bunny doing a bridleless ride, which is pretty exciting because Bunny had not been under saddle that long before going to this point. And Katie had been working with her for probably about 8 weeks-ish or so, and then was ready to do bridleless. And when I say riding, after 8 weeks-ish, she had been doing all of the work of getting her canter going, teaching her first jumps, all of those things. Bunny really doesn't have a ton of rides under saddle to this point. And look at her going sideways, bridleless. And Katie had this goal before she left to go back to Poland to teach her horse how to do bridleless as part of earning her level 3 in the Harmony Horsemanship instructor program. And the part of that instructor piece is to be able to train a horse to do liberty and to do bridleless, with the goal of making sure that you're really clear in your cues for what you're telling the horse, but also that you're able to help the horse manage their energy, be able to make sure you're rewarding frequently enough. And liberty and bridleless are great tools to help us with those pieces, because if we're asking for too much, asking for too little, if we're too boring, if we're too exuberant, all of those things are going to cause a horse to want to leave you. So bridleless and liberty are great challenges to test our partnership and also our ability to manage a lot of our cues, our body language, and our horse's desire to want to stay with us and stay connected. So it's a fun thing to do. So what Katie's been doing right now, as I've been jabbering at you, is showing all of the different buttons that Bunny has. So her sideways, look at that beautiful crossing legs. So she's making sure she understands the cues for left and right. Now, is this a perfect, flawless ride? No, of course, there's little things that we can improve here and there. But my channel is not really about critiquing people on what it is that they're up to. It's more about celebrating their process and that they're wanting to learn, wanting to try new things. And so, yeah, there's little moments where, maybe Bunny tosses her head a little smidgy bit and she's saying you could cue a little softer, or maybe she got confused in moments. But overall, Katie's having great communication with Bunny. Look at Bunny checking in for the cookies. That means that Bunny's motivated to learn and try and is enjoying being part of the process and understanding what those cues mean, which is super important. She did the shoulders, the sideways. Now they're moving out and riding with the forwards piece here. And we're going to see her do some turning and some energy control. And when I say energy control, I mean speed control, which is a lot of fun to do with horses. And this is not their first bridleless ride. She had practiced a couple times before I came out to film her assessment, but this is very beginning stages of just within the first few bridleless attempts. And there's definitely a lot of pieces that you want to do before you get to this point of trotting and even cantering a horse bridleless. It's very helpful if you at least start with stopping and backing up and steering. But look at this. Katie's like, this has been going so well, let's ride a canter. And so look at that. She's cantering around the ring bridleless, making her transition down. And that's a pretty clean stop and into a backup there to reinforce that whoa cue, which is an important thing to do to really get the horse thinking stop. The little backups are really key. And offering that cookie to Bunny. Now, Bunny being a little slow to take the cookie there can be that Bunny was processing a fair bit. So processing means the horse is thinking about what just happened. And when a horse is slow to take a cookie, it can mean that they're deep in thought. And that's another little perk to using cookies, not just for motivation, but also give you a little insight into what's going on in your horse's mind. And then this is Katie working on what we call neutral. So this is your horse understanding when not to respond because you're not actually cueing them to do something. So that's when she was wiggling around doing some spaghetti arms. And then she's going to take her for a little ride, going over a bridge, which is asking a horse to touch something or step onto something. And you can see she's sliding that neck rope up further on Bunny's neck to help her understand what it is she's doing. Because sometimes when you're first guiding them, if you're higher up on their neck, it helps them understand a little bit better. But look at that, up and over the bridge, no problem. All in all, Bunny being a little superstar. And this was all within just about 8 weeks-ish or so of when she really started into training. So overall, super proud of Katie and Bunny. My apologies for being a little late to post it, but let me know what you think.
Remember to subscribe and check out harmonyhorsemanship.com for even more learning.